Hi Scorpio, welcome and welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. So we're talking about May. Crazy, I know. I hope that April has been and is treating you well. We are actually going to work with a different spread this month. I've been kind of feeling called to and, just finally kind of answered that call. So it is going to look a little bit different. Basically what we're going to do is I'm going to shuffle the deck 3 times one way, 3 times another way, because 3 is my number. And if you know, you know. So if you have a number, drop it in the comments. Tell me what it is. And then I'm going to split the deck, and then I'm going to take the top 9 cards off. So it gives us a little bit more information, definitely cuts down on shuffling time. So we are seeking a message for Scorpio for May 2022. And we'll see if this sticks around, because thankfully, like, these cards are a little bit smaller. Like, they call this the pocket size, as opposed to like the traditional size cards. So basically, I mean, it would just depend on if I can kind of like reconfigure my configuration here. So we'll see how it goes. So we have Temperance, Ace of Swords, 10 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands, Ace of Wands, 9 of Cups, Queen of Wands, and the 3 of Wands. Gosh, the 3 of Wands keeps showing up exactly in that same spot. And then we have 4 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Sorry, I'm a Taurus, so I want it to look halfway appealing and straight. Just so it's not looking like it's going at a diagonal on your end, basically. So this is the spread. Welcome. There's not necessarily a rhyme or reason to this. It's kind of like bingo, you know, like we're going to talk about each row. We'll talk about each column. There's a beginning, middle, end type situation. I mean, my intention is to kind of give you all of the messages and energies that come to me. So, okay. Sorry again. Or, yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure that there was enough space in my memory stuff here, because it's been a bit of a ride with that. So let's move forward. Like I said, you know, I mean, we're just going to kind of talk about everything, basically. So we start with Temperance. That's a card of Sagittarius. There could be a Sagittarius, doesn't have to be involved. But when we talk about Sagittarius, when we talk about Temperance, we talk about patience, because what's happening with Temperance is that there's kind of some stuff in the background happening. Like, you can kind of see that she's holding tree pose, I believe is what that's called. Is that what it's called? But she has one eye open. I think that's funny. But with Temperance, it talks about alchemizing. So, you know, it's melding together kind of all these different energies. And I always think about tempering chocolate, because there are certain steps that have to be taken in order for chocolate to be tempered correctly, right? Otherwise, if you miss a step, or if you try to rush through a step, it could ruin the whole batch and you literally have to start over. Like there's very little room to save chocolate if it's not tempered correctly. As far as I know, I'm not a baker. I don't know. I caught this on Food Network. But that's the whole point, right? Is to understand that there are certain steps, there's certain things that kind of need to take place in order for everything to come together. So it does take patience. And then we have the Ace of Swords here, and the Ace of Swords, or swords in general, it's our mind and how we perceive our realities. It's a lot of ego also, because that's generally where we hear our ego is in our minds. And our egos have this way of controlling the narrative of our reality, right? So when we talk about the Ace of Swords, there's this new perspective. It could even be inspiration. The Ace of Swords is also the sword of truth. So, I mean, there could be like a divine truth coming in. You could even be, kind of waiting for a situation to unfold, of course. You could have even been doing, being Scorpio, you could be doing a deep kind of dive into your own healing. And that's kind of what this Temperance energy is, because when we do a lot of that deep healing, it does create a new reality, and it does allow us to expand our perceptions of ourselves, our environments. And then we have the Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands talks about carrying a burden. I mean, you can kind of see this card, he's carrying all these wands uphill. So there's, kind of burden that comes along with this card, but also I see it as a card of knowledge, because when we get to the 10, that's a completion. So, it's almost kind of like you're done with carrying a burden, and it's now the Ace of Wands. So there is kind of some sort of situation that maybe it has felt like a burden, and maybe you have just kind of had to have a lot of patience through it, and maybe you have almost had to force yourself to kind of see things from a different perspective. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles here. The Eight of Pentacles, Pentacles are it's the earth suit. Sorry, what is with my words tonight? I'm sorry. Forgiveness in advance. Thank you. So when we talk about the Eight of Pentacles, this is putting in work, literally. But it's with an intention of like kind of perfecting a craft or mastering that craft. And also what's kind of interesting is that there's this broom, there's the wand. This Ten of Wands here, he's carrying all these brooms, right? And now there's just one over the door there. So this is, really kind of following your motivation, like following the thing, wands talk about creativity and communication and passion. So this could be pursuing what you are passionately creative about, and even communicating that thing. But it takes practice and time and focus to get really good at the thing, right? And then the Eight of Wands next to that, there's a lot of Wands energy on here. So there's a lot of fire energy going on here. And I don't think there's any, there's one. I was going to say, there's no cups on here. There is, and it's a good one. So, there's maybe you could be putting a lot of like action into something, whatever it is. Of course, it would depend on your situation. And you have like, a lot of motivation to do it. The Eight of Wands at the center here, kind of the central energy, is that there may be a lot of information coming into you at one time, Or maybe people are recognizing you for this craft or this thing that you are working on. So there's a lot of requests for people to want to buy something off of you or buy your service or your product, right? And there's kind of this idea of having to, you know, kind of manage all of that, because this is a tornado back here. She's doing it, but there's, you know, a little bit of a look of a concern on her face to, you know, kind of keep everything in control. And, you know, when we talk about the Eight of Wands, it is very fast moving. So again, it could be a lot of information coming into you or a lot of communication. Like I said, people could be recognizing what you are doing and want to be involved or wanting to purchase that product or service from you. And then we have the Ace of Wands. And I think it's beautiful that we have two aces here. This is, you know, a brand new perspective or inspiration. And this is a brand new, you know, kind of passion or creative venture. It's kind of like, you know, I mean, the possibilities are endless. I mean, you know, there's a book here. So, I mean, you could be thinking about writing a book. There's a map here. So, I mean, you could be thinking about maybe exploring your lineage or going on a road trip. Like maybe you're like, I'm going to sell all my shit and buy a van and travel the United States for a year. There's a paintbrush there. I don't know what this is. There's music symbols there. So, right, like lots of creative options. And even, you know, like the look between their faces too. Like, you know, I mean, there could be something about having a hard time deciding on what direction that you wanted to go in, or even kind of what step to take first. Then we have the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. When we talk about the Nine of Cups, the nines are when we individually feel the energy of the suit. So this is you feeling like your needs are met. You feel purposeful, like you feel content. I mean, she's sitting here on a beach and just kind of, you know, her posture and her face, right? There's this level of contentment there, feeling really good about yourself, as you should. Absolutely. And then we have the Eight of Wands next to that. And she's sitting on top of a dragon. So again, you know, I mean, we go from this Ace of Wands down here to the Queen of Wands. And again, when we talk about the queens, the queen is when we embody the energy of that suit. So this is you, you know, kind of you've chosen something. It could be even all of the things in balance, right? But it's like you did choose something. There could even be, you know, kind of some level of taming, you know, because she's sitting on top of this dragon. So there's like this message about taming a dragon, but it's not like to the extent of knocking its soul out or like its spark or whatever, right? But it's almost just kind of like getting focused on, instead of like everything just kind of being in front of you and you just being like, I don't know what to do. I don't know which one to choose. I'm having a hard time kind of, you know, managing all of this stuff that's kind of coming into me. The Queen of Wands is like, no, I got this under control. Absolutely. Like I am exploring all of the things that I am passionate about. I'm diving into them, if even just a little bit, right? But like I am in total control of this. And it is a full expression of your creativity. Like it kind of flows freely. And even, you know, I mean, this could even be a glow up, because this figure here could be this figure here, just again, you know, like, I don't want to say grown up, but glowed up, refined, right? And then the Three of Wands. Like I said, the Three of Wands has been showing up in this exact position for almost half of the readings that I've already done so far. So, you know, the Three of Wands talks about kind of waiting for information to come in. It's generally depicted by like, you know, your ships are coming in. So it's either you've gotten all of the information that you need in order to make a decision on which way to go, or by this whole kind of journey here, it's almost kind of switching directions for you. It's almost just like naturally guiding you into a new direction. She's holding on to a wand here, right? And, you know, like kind of trying it out, but she has two more wands on her belt there. So, you know, try it out, see how it feels, see how it works out. And if it doesn't feel good, try one of the other two. Find the thing that does feel good. And then we have this progression from the Three to the Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. The Four of Wands talks about foundation and union, harmony, success, right? Like it talks about foundation and security because there's usually four pillars. So when you get to, you could even just be heading from a place of not knowing what the foundation is, or feeling a bit insecure, to being secure, having a direction. This could even be finding your community, like like-minded people that are maybe kind of interested in the same stuff that you're interested in. Okay, just wanted to check and be sure it was still recording. So cool. So, I mean, we start at Temperance, right? Like not a ton of movement, like just kind of having to stand there and just kind of wait for things to kind of unfold as they do. And then by the middle of the month, maybe just kind of feeling like, you know, okay, shit's starting to go, starting to get more information, maybe freaking out a little bit, not in a bad way, but just, okay, this is more of a response than maybe I thought I was going to get. Happily surprised. And then, you know, like either fully committing to that direction, like fully committing to the thing, or recognizing like, oh, okay, I need to, or just by doing this, it's just kind of naturally guiding me in this direction. And there's success. I mean, you know, like the underlying thing is the Four of Wands. There's a foundation here. There's, you know, kind of security coming. So then going by column, we have Temperance, Eight of Pentacles, and the Nine of Cups. So this is, again, like this is just loving what you're doing. This is absolutely feeling in your own energy, like, you know, expressing yourself creatively and even maybe, you know, kind of having to put in a little work to kind of, you know, like hone in what that is for you. Like, what is it that I do want to create? Or even just like learning, like maybe you're watching YouTube videos, or maybe you're taking classes or courses in something to either gain knowledge of it, or, you know, kind of figure out how to practice at it or get better at it, or right, whatever the thing may be. But it's very much in your energy. Like it's very much an expression of who you see yourself to be, and also how you want your future to feel. Like, how do I want to feel going forward about the stuff that I'm spending my time doing and spending my money on? And then the Ace of Swords, Eight of Wands, Queen of Wands. I mean, this progression right here is absolutely beautiful. And then even too, we go from this Ace of Wands, right? Maybe being a bit new at the thing, right? To being in this kind of Eight of Wands energy of being in the mix and really putting a lot of focus and attention into it. And maybe just even kind of feeling like, what the fuck, what am I doing? Right? Like, that could be a thing. But again, you know, this glow up to the Queen of Wands. Because there's no tornado. here, right? There's no sense of options, or, you know, like there's no kind of sense of, look at all of this stuff that I can choose from, right? Like I said, there's this kind of control thing going on. This could even be getting really clear in your thoughts, like really, you know, kind of figuring out, or not figuring out, but really getting clear. It's almost like being realistic is the word that finally came to my mind. And I also think that it's interesting that both of these cards are looking up, and both of these cards have, you know, the same posture. Her hand is in the air with the sword. Her hand is in the air with the wand. And even this one, you know, like her hand is still kind of in the air in like a different way. And again, you know, like this energy down here of being refined and very much in control. Like you have kind of control, you have more control over these two energies here. Your brain's not just kind of swirling around with all of these what ifs, and there's not all of this kind of information just kind of flowing around you, right? Like even if it is, it's not necessarily affecting you negatively because you do have control. Control. That's my Janet Jackson impersonation. Terrible. I hope she never sees that. The odds of her ever seeing that. Anyway, and then the 10 of Wands, Ace of Wands, 3 of Wands. First of all, I mean, like just all of these wands here, right? Like really going for it, really, is how that feels. I mean, you know, the 10 of Wands, like when we talk about burden, like that could just be, you know, kind of just, again, like being very logical and very kind of reasonable, having your expectations be reasonable. But this could just be, you know, when you start a new business, or when you start a new job, or when you start kind of something new, like it just kind of comes with stuff, right? So it's just kind of like, man, I have all of this to carry up a hill. Like, what? But you figure it out. Maybe you outsource, or maybe you delegate work so that you can kind of focus on being creative. This could even be, you know, like if you have to keep a full-time job while you're trying to, like if you are trying to start your own thing or launch a business, this could just be, you know, like kind of burning the candle at both ends. And, you know, really manifesting this future, right? Like really manifesting how you want things to go and how you want to proceed forward. And then we have the 3 of Wands here. And again, you know, I mean, there's this kind of commitment to it. And this is, you know, actually the act of like manifesting the thing into the 3D. This is manifesting this, right? Like you go from the 3 to the 4. So you go from standing on this cliff and, you know, playing with this energy to being in this group. Or like I said, I mean, this could even be festivals. This could be markets. Like you could get involved with markets or festivals. And again, you know, like there's other vendors there that you link up with, and maybe they offer you like to be like a mentor, or they offer to, you know, kind of train you on a certain thing. Like, you know, it just opens possibilities. That is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. And I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much, Scorpio. And if you haven't, I would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel, Check out my Instagram, check out Etsy, all of the things. Everything is listed down in the description box. Thank you. Bye.